moves quietly back to his seat.
Professor Joseph Opala. In recognition of his pioneering role in documenting the historical link between the Gula people in the United States of America and Sierra Leone, and his outstanding contribution to preserving Bones Island. This recipient's groundbreaking academic research has rolled back time and shown how aspects of Sierra Leonean culture and way of life over 12 years ago still survives and thrives in coastal southeastern United States. Professor Opala's research has shown that many of the Gula peoples of coastal South Carolina and Georgia are descendants of slaves taken from Sierra Leone more than 2 centuries ago. His discovery of this Gula connection has led to a series of homecomings, one of which actually reunited a family that was torn apart by the transatlantic slave trade. Opala first came to Sierra Leone as a Peace Corps volunteer in 1974. 2 years later, he began his study of Bones Island, cutting back decades of bush growth and vegetation at the former British slave castle near Pepel. His efforts made him the first scholar to recognize the functions of all major buildings on the island, including the men's and women's slave yards. He is also the first to unearth irrefutable evidence that Bones Island sent many captives to the North American colonies, especially South Carolina and Georgia, where farmers there needed the advanced skills of African rice planters to increase their yield. He concluded that Bones Island had a stronger link to the U.S. than any other slave castle in West Africa. Professor Opala has also shown that the African-American Gula of southeastern United States have preserved the customs and traditions of their rice-growing ancestors from Sierra Leone. They speak a language that closely mirrors Sierra Leonean Creole and contains many words from African languages, including Mende, Vai, Fula, and Temni. He caused a sensation in Freetown when he announced his early discoveries during a public lecture at the U.S. Embassy in 1985, letting Sierra Leoneans know that part of their culture has been alive in the USA for more than 2 centuries, what's now known as the Gula Connection. In 1988, he organized a visit by then President Joseph Saidu Momo to the Gula community on St. Helena Island, South Carolina. The president was so thrilled to see rice mortars and fanners and admired the many similarities in language, culture, and food, especially the rice dishes that reflect genuine Sierra Leonean cuisine. In 2010, Professor Opala announced that the Bones Island Coalition US, the organization he leads in the USA, has secured a pledge of several $1 million from wealthy donors to stabilize the ruins at Bones Island. The project will transform the site into a modern historic park and includes a museum about Bones Island's history to be built somewhere on Freetown's natural harbor. The idea is for visitors to whet their appetite at the museum before heading upriver to the castle itself. Opala and his team recently restructured the Bones Island project to ensure that Sierra Leoneans will take charge of it by the third